This is the first tutorial video for the Spanish medical course online. This tutorial video is about grammatical session and anatomy of human body in Spanish. We will start with the Spanish alphabet. I will read the letters according to the pronunciation in Spanish. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, y Z. Here we will get examples of the pronunciation of the vowels in Spanish used in different words. For the letter A, as in father, cantar, casa, carro, pasar, hablar, mama, palabra. Y, as in set, cerca, saber, verde, peso, cerro, sentar, separar. I, as in machine, sufrir, río, litro, kilo, minutos, fibra. O, as in open, hijo, todo, ojo, pienso, malo, calor. U, as rule, pluma, buscar, turno, uno, mucho, pus. Diphthongs are very important concept to understand for a correct pronunciation of the words in Spanish. We have strong vowels as A, E, O. Weak vowels as I and U. In Spanish, two strong vowels cannot be together in one syllable. For example, mareo, deletrear, idea. The E and the O are strong vowels. They are in different syllables. The E and the A are in different syllables because both are strong vowels. A strong and weak vowel or two weak vowels can be together in one syllable. Example, bueno, puedo, cielo, fiebre. U and A could be together because U is a weak vowel and E is a strong vowel. The same is with I and E and cielo. If the weak vowel has an accent, they become two syllables. For example, río, María, leía, hacía. All these words have an accent and the weak vowel. That's why they divide it in two different syllables. Syllabization is a very important concept in Spanish. It will help you to understand and actually pronounce correctly words that probably you don't even know the meaning. For example, one of the rules that are important to remember is a single consonant, including the CH, the double L, and the double R that exists in Spanish, are pronounced with the following vowel or dicton. For example, necesidad, pluma, guerra, chancho, caballo, trabajar, Mexico. Combinations of two consonants between vowels or dictons are usually separate. For example, carpintero, fuente, pintar, cuarto, siempre. If the second consonant is L or R, the combination is, as a rule, inseparable. For example, abrir, teatro, libro, pueblo, reclamar, comprar, influencia. Other important concept to learn Spanish is understand how the verbs work. We don't want to teach you all the concepts of the grammatical way to understand verbs or the difference between regular and irregular. We want to teach you simple instruments that Spanish that can build your skills to understand better Spanish. Regular verbs. There are 3 regular conjugations in Spanish for regular verbs. The infinitives of these 3 conjugations end with like first conjugation with ar. For example, for hablar, caminar, estudiar. Talking, walking, studying. Second conjugation is with er. Tejer, beber. Sewing, drinking. Third conjugation is ir. Sobrevivir, sentir. Survive, feel. The present tense conjugation for the vez cantar will help us to understand better the concepts of the present tense in Spanish and the progressive way of the present tense. For example, for the singular first person, yo canto, I sing. Usted, tú cantas, you sing. Él canta, he sings. Ella canta, she sings. En plural, nosotros cantamos, we sing. Vosotros cantáis, you sing. Ustedes cantan, you sing. Ellos o ellas cantan, they sing. The progressive form of this is yo estoy cantando for the first person. I am singing. Tú estás cantando for the second person. You are singing. Él está cantando. He is singing. Ella está cantando. She is singing. The progressive for the plural forms are nosotros estamos cantando. We are singing. Vosotros estás cantando. You are singing. Ustedes están cantando. This other way to say you are singing. And the third person in plural. Ellos o ellas están cantando. They are singing. In order to understand the concept of present tense, we need more words. Some of the words that we can see here are subjects with articles, with conjugations that we know and we can be familiar probably from the past. In this case, el alumno, the student, la alumna, la clase, el español, la lección, el maestro, la señorita, explicar. Some words that will help us to understand more in the next examples. Some of the conjugations are also here that you are familiar with. For example, con, de, en, bien, pero, y, and the articles el, los, la, las, mucho. In order to understand better Spanish, we need to understand the concept of articles. Articles in Spanish have gender. Could be masculine or feminine. Are singular and plural. The singular masculine article is el. The plural masculine article is los. The singular feminine article is la. The plural feminine article is las. Gender in nouns. Nouns in Spanish are either masculine or feminine. Those denoting males are masculine, and those denoting female are feminine. The gender of inanimate objects must be learned. Masculine. We can give here a couple of examples of the use of singular masculine article associated with a singular masculine subject. Libro, el libro. The same for papel, as a singular masculine subject is associated with a singular masculine article. El papel. Plurals of nouns. Nouns ending in a vowel add the letter S to form the plural way. Nouns ending in a consonant add the ending es to form the plural. We give some examples. El libro, that's the singular way. Los libros, it will be the plural way. We add the letter S at the end. El papel, because it ends in a consonant, we'll need to add the letter E and S to get the end of the plural way. Los papeles. La pluma is a singular article, a singular subject associated with an article. To convert that to a plural way, we need to use las plumas. We change the article to a plural feminine article, las, and we add the letter S to the singular form of the subject. Pluma to plumas. Negation. A negative idea is usually expressed by putting no immediately before the verb. No conversamos mucho. We don't talk much. Jessica, ¿no estudias la lección de francés? Jessica, don't study for the French lesson? Los médicos no hablan español. The physicians don't speak Spanish. Another important concept to understand in Spanish to build your skills is understand the present tense of the verb to be. In Spanish, estar. We give you the examples in singular and plural. I am, estoy. You are, estás. You are, formal, usted está. He, she, it is, está. Plural, we are, estamos. You all are, estáis. You all are the formal way, ustedes están. They are, están. The use of star has different ways in Spanish. The principal use of stars are to denotate location, where. Toronto está en Canada. Toronto is in Canada. We are using the verb to be, the verb estar, to denotate location. Toronto está en Canada. Toronto is in Canada. Estamos en la playa. We are in the beach. With a predicated adjective to express a temporal quality or condition, like how or why, is other important way that we use the verb to be estar. Juan está enfermo hoy. Today John is sick. ¿Está usted cansada, señora Luna? Are you tired, Miss Luna? The way we're using the verb estar here is to denotate a condition, temporal condition of the subject. In this case, Juan, a person, está, temporal condition, enfermo, he is sick. The same for the question. ¿Está usted cansada, señora Luna? Are you tired, Miss Luna? Is a temporal quality condition of the subject. Keep learning. There are two other important concepts that are fundamental to understand Spanish. One of those is the contraction of the words. Contraction of the word L and A and D plus L will give possession words, possession constructs of words. For example, the contraction of the letter L plus A will create the word al. The contraction of the word D with L will give the contraction del. Al and del are two important words for denotate possession. For example, la mesa del maestro. The table of the teacher. El maestro explica la lección al alumno. The teacher explained the lesson to the student. In this case, we are given possession using these construct words. Possession is expressed by followed by the name of the possessor. For example, el carro de Alfredo, los ojos de las alumnas. In these sentences, we are expressing the possession of the subject with the use of the words that we learned before, the constructs of L and A and D and L, del and al, el carro de Alfredo, los ojos de las alumnas. Other important concept to learn is adjectives as subjects and articles. They have also gender, and they can also express singular or plural. The great majority of Spanish adjectives ending in O, masculine, or in A, feminine. A number have ending in E, masculine, and E, feminine. Some will end even in consonants. Adjectives are pluralized, made plural in the same way of the nouns, adding the letter S and adding the letter O's or as to the singular way. For example, the masculine singular way for cansado, the feminine singular way for the word cansada. The masculine plural way is cansados. The feminine plural way is cansadas. It's the same adjective, but we change the ending to identify the gender of the subject, or if the subject is singular or plural. Cansado, masculine singular, cansada, singular feminine, plural, cansados es a masculine plural, y cansadas es a feminine plural. Other example, rico is a masculine singular, rica is a feminine singular. Ricos is the way of express the masculine plural, and ricas is the way to express the feminine plural. Other important concept is the use of the other way of the verb to be. We already talked about the way estar. We will learn here about ser. Ser is used in two cases, with a predicated noun, like esto está en el sur de Chile, it is in the south of Chile, or with a predicated adjective, to denote a natural, innate, or permanent quality. El perro es blanco. The dog is white. Los dedos están muy fríos. The fingers are very cold. We can use the words no es verdad or verdad in order to ask questions about the sentences that we are not completely sure. If we are not completely sure that el perro es blanco, the dog is white, we will say el perro es blanco, ¿verdad? Or los dedos están muy fríos, ¿no es verdad? In English, we often convert statements into questions. Italian is easy, isn't it? The streets are dark, aren't they? They don't pay their bills, do they? We can use the verb ser plus the adjective as the complementary infinitive and create constructions. And as we talked before, Spanish omits a preposition many times. It is easy to understand the rules. Es fácil comprender las reglas. It is necessary to learn English. Es necesario aprender el español. Other two important tools in order to build your Spanish is to understand the meaning and the way that we can use the word I, which are the Spanish for there is or there are. as well as the relative pronoun que. I, meaning there is or there are, does not express location, but rather existence of certain individuals or things. For example, hay muchas palabras en un libro. There is a lot of words in a book. Hay alumnos que no estudian cada lección. There are students who don't study each lesson. Other important tool is the relative pronoun que. Que, as a relative pronoun, may be used as subject or object of the verb and may refer to persons or things. Hence, it might mean who, that, or which. The relative pronoun is never omitted in Spanish, as it is frequently the case in English. The man that we saw yesterday is rich. La gente que vive aquí es muy alegre. The people that live here are very happy. Las familias que describo son ricas. The families that I describe are rich. Lo que usted escribe es muy interesante. What you write is very interesting. So we can omit that. For example, the people live here are very happy. The family I describe are rich. But we can omit the version in Spanish, que. La gente que vive aquí es muy alegre. We lose completely meaning if we just say la gente vive aquí es muy alegre. Las familias que describo son ricas. Lo que usted escribe es muy interesante. What are you writing is very interesting. Finally, we will learn the concept of otra vez and infinitive introduced by the a or d. Again, the idea again may be expressed in two different ways. Otra vez, meaning one more time, o volver a, plus infinitive verb. The idiom is much used. For example, empezamos la película otra vez. We start the movie again. O volver a, volvemos a empezar la lección. We start the lesson again. Finally, the complementary infinitives. An infinity is said to be complementary when it completes the idea begun by the main verb. In Spanish, the complementary infinitive may be introduced by the preposition a or d or by no preposition at all, depending on the requirement of the principal verb. For example, empezar a plus infinitive to start, aprender a plus the infinitive of the verb learn. So we can combine this and you can say, empezamos a jugar soccer. Tratamos de aprender el español. Vuelva a tomar clases. Prefieran comer aquí. As we can see, complementary infinitives for these verbs, empezar, empezar, o aprender, plus the article a, plus the infinitive form of any verb, will help us to add more power and sentences to our Spanish. We want to help you giving you some words, medical terminology in Spanish to increase your vocabulary to describe anatomical parts in Spanish. We'll start from the top left. Frente, ojos, nariz, hombro, pecho, abdomen, muslo, rodilla, dedos, pie, dedos, antebrazo, estómago, pecho, axila, cuello, boca, barbilla y orejas. The same with anatomical parts when in the back of the person. For example, espalda, cintura, cadera, nalgas, pantorrilla, tobillo, mano, codo, brazo. We also want to give you some vocabulary of anatomical parts in Spanish. We'll start from the top left. Cráneo, tráquea, pulmones, corazón, hígado, estómago, intestino grueso, intestino delgado, recto, vejiga, vagina, útero, ovarios, trompa, útero, uréter, riñón, vesícula, esternón, seno, arteria, vena, cráneo, vaso, vejiga.